Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me. This is Arthur T. L. Adams. Before I get started, I want to remind you that I am on Facebook and Instagram. So if you can go and follow me on those things, it's Arthur T. L. Adams. You can follow me on Instagram and like my page on Facebook. And ensure that if it's anything that you like that I'm saying, make sure you share with your friends and share with someone. Okay, let's get right into it. My latest project, like I said before, is Get Rid of Your Stupid List 7 Reasons You Are Successful and Still Single. One of the reasons why I feel like I'm still single, even though on the outside people looking like, dang, you got a good job, you have this going. So, why am I not married? So, as time went on, and what inspired me to write this book is because I had to change my way of thinking in order to get a different result. I got tired of starting over and over and over and over again in the dating process and weeding out everybody and thinking ain't nobody good enough to be with me. And he don't meet this on my list, so he must not be the one. That stuff gets old and I'm 35, so how long am I going to go through this process of weeding people out and eliminating people before I say, you know what, he might not have everything on my list, but if he has 80%, 75, 80% of everything I need in a man, I'm good. We can work our way around other things. He doesn't have to have, and I truly don't feel like no man will have 100% of everything that you need or want in a person as far as when it comes to the list. And it comes to naming things off we want in a man, I don't feel like one person can meet that because I feel like we have unrealistic expectations when it comes to men. And so we can't even meet our own standards that we place on other people. So one of the reasons why I found that I was single and have been single for so long and not married is because I was giving and wasting my time with all the wrong men. Well, let me say that, men. Like I said, I have been divorced for 7 years. So I've been dating for a long time. And so I'm like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Okay. What am I doing wrong for me not to be successful when it comes to dating? Okay, I'm successful in my job. Okay, check. Just wrote my first book. Successful in every other area except for relationships. So what's the problem? Is it me? Is it the men? We quick to blame men on the reason why we're not successful in our lives. But let me tell you something. And I learned this the hard way. I was quick to blame men because I'm like, they ain't got their stuff together. They're full of it. But you know what? I learned I had to blame myself. Why you say that? It's easy to point the blame on someone else if it doesn't work out. But what if it did work out? Then it would have been you. You were the reason why it worked out. So I feel like instead of shifting the blame on guys, we need to shift the blame on ourselves. We need to look at our decisions when it comes to choosing men and think about, did we make a good choice when we chose them? So we can't blame the man because you picked the wrong man. No, we blame ourselves. We said we should have looked harder. We should have evaluated. We should have dated longer. We shouldn't have jumped into something. A lot of times we choose the wrong man is because we want to rush. We don't want to be by ourselves, or he seemed right at first, and over time you realize that he's not. So a lot of times we waste time with all the wrong men just 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 because, you know so a lot of times we're single because of our own bad decisions. And like the definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. We can't say, oh, I want to get married one day, or I want to be in a relationship, or I want this and I want that, but we constantly choosing the same type of man. We're not changing in any kind of way because first of all, we think we perfect and ain't nothing wrong with us. It's the man. He the one ain't got his stuff together. but we don't have everything together either. And just because you might have your career lined up and you have good kids and you have what people look at as success, that doesn't mean that you have it together mentally. You still have to change too. You have to change your behavior. You have to change your way of thinking. You have to be humble, because ain't no man gonna deal with you if you feel like you don't need him. You make him feel like he's less than a man because he doesn't have what you have. And a lot of times those are the women that make a man feel needed and wanted. Those are the women that get married. So a lot of times we give our time, our attention, our resources to Mr. Wrong because at the time Mr. Wrong feels right. Doesn't mean he is right, but in our eyes he's right for us. And over time, because we're complacent, we're content, we don't want to start over, we just keep choosing Mr. Wrong. Mr. Wrong could very well be the perfect package. He could have the six pack, the six figures, the car, the house, and be a dog. But because we're looking on, well, shoot, he drive BMW and he got a nice car and he give me money, and it has to be something more than just that to keep you and make you make better decisions when it comes to man. What about his quality? How does he treat you? How do he talk to you? What do he add to your life besides money? So I focus a lot about it because I lost 2 jobs back to back, and I know what it's like to not have no money, and I know what it's like to have money. So just because you have money, that does not make you a good man or a good woman. And a lot of times we want this perfect package. And like I said, just because he have the package, that doesn't mean that he's the right one for you. So I felt that I chose Mr. Wrong, and I kept giving my time and attention to guys that I knew I was just wasting my time. Like, I can think of one guy I talked to for like 6 months. We ain't never had no title. We ain't moved toward our relationship or nothing. We were just friends. But I'm like, what are we doing here? So I spent half a year with you and you couldn't even make me your woman? Is it his fault or mine? Mine. I stayed. We gonna go with the flow. I don't go with no flow no more. If we ain't gonna talk about moving forward in our lives, what are we doing here? I'm 35. I don't have no whole lot of time to be going with no flow. We either gonna be together, we gonna make it work, we gonna build together, or we just gonna leave each other alone. I don't believe in no friends with benefits and all of that kind of stuff. But a lot of times, especially right after my divorce, I wasn't ready to jump into a relationship. So I just went along with it and say we could just be friends, we can hang out, we doing what couples do. We up here acting like a couple, holding hands, going places, going on dates and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, he ain't my man, so can I get pissed off and mad if he talks to anybody else besides me? No. My fault. Wasted a whole couple years, just talking to those type of guys. And I'm like, dang, looking back, I could have really been with somebody that really wanted something, but I wasn't mentally ready. And so what I should have done, instead of wasting time with all those fools, I should have invested that time into myself to get myself ready and prepare myself mentally and emotionally to be with someone. I could have been in church more, spent more time with God, focused on my kids, focused on my career, got myself on track. And then, after all that, then I could have said, okay, I'm ready now. But because after my divorce, instead of giving myself time to heal, I jumped right into the dating game because I didn't want to be by myself. And a lot of times, a lot of women, we like that. We don't want to be by ourselves, so we jump into something and we ended up picking the wrong guy because we're settling. And a lot of times we settle, not to say, people got their choices and they gotta live with them, and we have to deal with the consequences. And my consequences is wasting a whole bunch of time with the wrong type of guy, and then I'm like, what did I accomplish? And we're not even talking anymore. We weren't even nothing. And it's like, dang, a year go by, year 2 go by, year 3. I done wasted 3 years with somebody and we didn't even establish anything. So a lot of times, a lot of women, we do it all the time. We waste time with the losers. We waste time with men we know. If you find yourself with someone, all they want to do is text. All they want to do is, be intimate. It's just certain things a guy will bring to you, and if you allow it, he's gonna keep doing it. So we have the choice, women. We have the choice to say, you know what? If you ain't about the relationship thing, if we can't be together, we can't be anything at all. I value myself and I love myself enough to know that I'm not going to waste time with someone that don't want the same thing I want. And it goes back to what I said in another video. What is it that I really want? Do I really want a relationship? Do whatever it is that you want. You need to make that clear up front. Don't be like me and be quiet and go with the flow and waste time. So a lot of times we waste time with Mr. Wrong because we're quiet. We don't want to be by ourselves. And if we say the wrong thing, we don't want to piss him off. But you know what? I got to a point that I don't care if I piss anybody off. I'm going to say what I have to say. And if you don't want a relationship or you don't want to be with me like that, I'm going to just let it be known that we're just not going to be together and we're not going to be anything. Because I don't want to waste time with someone and he might not want a relationship, but I do. And I'm up here going to talk to you thinking he going to change. Ain't no thinking. If he doesn't want that, move on to someone who do. It's plenty of fish in the sea.